In this video, I'll show you how I made this DVD case to conveniently keep my PS2 memory cards in one place on my game shelves. It's a very simple and easy project, but I'll also share the design steps it took to get here, and, as always, how to apply all we learned towards other similar projects. And finally, I'll reveal why this one project is so meaningful for me. In the past, I made a decorative display box for my PS2 memory cards, but my game shelves are so full that I wanted a more space-conscious design. Of course, original PS2 cases have a slot for one card, but wouldn't it be better to put all of my cards in one case? When I'm envisioning a project like this, I spend a lot of time planning and tweaking my designs before implementation. Did you know that there's technically enough room for 9 memory cards inside a DVD case? I didn't until I started designing. Hypothetically, there's room for 18 if you could put 9 on each side. That would be a tremendous space savings, but it wouldn't actually work for a couple of reasons. Unless you have a thicker than standard case, like a multi-DVD case, stacking the cards double deep is a little too thick. The case would bulge and might have trouble staying closed, so I'll drop back down to 9. Ideally, we'd want our cards secured inside the case. Wouldn't it be nice to have a case filled with the same injection-molded plastic slots of an official PS2 case? Well, I don't have access to a 3D printer or any feasible way to make that happen. As a matter of fact, with so little room to work with, I don't see any easy way of securing 9 cards, but we're open to your suggestions. I think the easiest way to secure the cards will be with a dense foam insert with memory card size holes cut out. So I decided to design my case to only hold 6 cards as a compromise. By reducing capacity, this will allow me to properly contain them, so the trade-off is worth it to me, and I don't have 9 memory cards anyway. I could keep the cards in 2 uniform columns and design 2 trenches to hold them, but I'd prefer to give each card its own slot instead. This configuration would work. I think it's an acceptable design, but I decided against using it because I was concerned with how narrow some of the separating walls were and whether my foam would hold up. After some more tweaking, this is what I settled on. This configuration gives each card much more surrounding material, enough so that I could even add these finger divots for easier card removal. Why only 3? Well, actually, this will be on each side of my case, offering a total of 6. And when closing the case, the cards themselves don't actually overlap, avoiding the issues I mentioned before. For the foam inserts, I decided to layer up these thin sheets of craft foam. I figured they would be easy to work with as a first-time project. I chose adhesive-backed sheets, so I wouldn't have to worry about any additional gluing. If you have EVA foam at around 4 to 5 millimeters, that should be perfect too. You can use the colors you like, but I prefer simple black and white. To create the case inserts, I originally wanted to have the base layer be a full foam sheet with a few more layers of foam to build up the wells for very cushy pockets for the cards. This would work fine in a single-sided design, but in my 2-sided design, my measurements indicate that I only have space for 3 layers of foam per side. With only 3 layers to work with, I decided against the base layer, but walls 3 layers deep instead. More wall contact means a more secure hold. Like I said, design always takes up a large portion of the time I spend on these projects. Even so, there are always unforeseen aspects that you just can't discover without moving into real-world production, so let's leave design behind and work on the actual build. I printed and cut out my design template, and using scissors I'm cutting out the shapes for the memory cards. I didn't try to follow every contour of the memory card shape, but instead cut just inside of the lines. When I transfer this to the foam, I want to make sure my walls will make good contact with the cards. I can always cut more off afterwards if needed. I made a 3-layer sandwich from my craft foam, lining it up as best as I could. I was originally going to use the white as the base layer, but now I'll put it in the middle to make a decorative pinstripe when I cut out the holes. I kind of like it, even though it looks like an Oreo cookie. These sheets aren't cut to a perfect size, so even though I can line up the first 2 edges alright, the other 2 don't line up flatly. Next, I used my template to size up and cut out my first insert. By the way, this template and the others I showed you are on the project page linked in the description. I used a metal ruler and a utility knife to get good straight edges. Before I invested in a cutting mat, I would cut on old catalogs, phone books, or even a kitchen cutting board to protect my table from being marred. My blade slices right through the foam like a hot knife through butter, but it's worth remembering to use caution and be safe. My fingers are pretty close to the blade while I hold the ruler down, so I'm paying a lot of attention to controlling my pulling strength, the blade, and the ruler. I cut some fresh edges for my second panel since my foam's natural edges didn't line up well. The panels are ready, time to work on the holes. Using the template, I marked the positions for removal. Remember, both panels use the same template in the same orientation. Cutting out the holes was just as easy as before, it's just 4 straight cuts. Trying to cut the smooth curves of the finger divots proved to be more challenging. I tried reverting back to scissors to no avail. I cut them out as best I could with a utility knife. I got everything cut out, but you can see those curves are kind of chewed up, but I can smooth them out with my rotary tool. It works really good to shape up the foam, but it can be a bit tough to control. It wants to get squirrely and chew up more than you intended if it gets away from you, so use a firm hand. In hindsight, instead of cutting out those arches, I could have probably used the rotary tool to simply carve out angled impressions like this. That would have worked well too. Now we just need an empty DVD case to turn into our memory card case, and I think I have a pleasant surprise to show you. Three years ago, I showed you how to modify a standard DVD case to turn it into a storage case. You could follow similar steps to complete this project too, but today let me show you something new. This case has the same outward designs of a DVD keep case. Same size, same outsleeve, even made of the same plastic. The difference is on the inside. Check it out. No DVD spindle and no document clips. Fully blank and ready for all kinds of uses or future modifications. I had to buy these as a multi-pack, but I think I can come up with a few different projects to use these for in the future. These are sold as stamp cases, and I have more information about them and links to buy them in the description. Now for the moment of truth. Yes, everything seems to fit perfectly, so I'll remove the backing and carefully press them in place. There we go, and let's test the memory cards. It holds them in place well. It seems that 3 layers of foam with the cards does make the case bow out a little, but I'm still satisfied with the result. Like I said, you never know until you actually build it. You might try using only 2 layers or 4mm EVA foam instead. But we aren't completely finished yet. Now we need to print a nice cover to label the case. And thanks to the Cover Project database, I have one ready to print. As it prints, I'd like to say that the spirit of DIY problem solving and community collaboration that the Cover Project represents is the same as what sparked me to begin my Game Room Ideas series in the first place. I am very grateful that like-minded collectors, artists, and craftspeople have a place to come together and share their ideas, builds, and files. Thank you. There, that's pretty nice. One final note, most of my cards are official first party, but I do have a third party card as well. With its extra grip protrusion, it sticks out more than the others, causing an even bigger case bulge. Keep extra details like this in mind as you design for your collection. I've long had a couple of similar memory card cases on my shelves for other systems, and I'm glad to add my DIY case to my collection. Using this project idea as a template, you could repurpose cases of various shapes and sizes to create memory card storage for other systems as well. Think Neo Geo, PS1, N64, Dreamcast, GameCube, Xbox, Xbox 360, and apparently Xbox Series X as well. The community at the Cover Project forums and many of my viewers have made custom cases for lots of these cards and other gaming items and accessories. And speaking of the folks I've talked to in my comments, let me explain something important to me. This was a simple custom case project, very much like hundreds of others taken up by game collectors, but this project means much more to me than just a memory card case. I started this series to give back to the community and to try to foster collaborative idea and design sharing. This project is a beautiful culmination of this type of collaboration. The configuration of the cards is the only part of this project that is my own design. No other part of this project would have been possible without help from others. I wasn't aware of the stamp cases until a commenter pointed me towards them. The Unikeep cases I looked at and their use of dense foam is a direct inspiration for this build. Some of my commenters have suggested memory card storage as a show topic. I have the Cover Project to thank for the cover, and their forums to thank for having a place for people to share their custom case ideas. All of these influences came together to allow me to make this project and show you how I did it. I'm posting this project on a very special anniversary for me. It's the 3-year anniversary of my DVD case Game Boy Advance storage tutorial, and this project is a suitable sequel to it. And that video was the first of 3 consecutive years of monthly YouTube uploads, so today also marks my 3-year anniversary of being a continuous content producer on YouTube. And, like this project, I couldn't have done it without you. For that, I am humbled and grateful. Thank you for sticking with me and for staying until the end of the video. If you have ideas or experience that is relevant to this build, please let us know in the comments. Share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more in the future. Thank you all, and take care.